Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Elevation with Chris Oram, the show where we talk to individuals who have climbed the ladder of success. Today, we have a mini pod, and this mini pod is episode number 17. And we have Alex Skerlich here joining us on episode 17. Alex Skerlich is the CEO of Rage and Recover Entertainment. He's also the CEO of the Sunrise Podcast Network, where we're recording episode number 17 of Elevation with Chris Oram. Thanks for joining us today, Alex.
Thank you for having me.
So if you guys are new around here, Alex and I have been BFFs for about the last 10 years. We went to high school together. We were friends. We were close friends. We were in the same friend group. We went to college together. We were in the same friend group, and now we've become reacquainted as business friends. Alex has the network, I record the podcast, and here we are talking to y'all at home. So, Alex.
What's up, Chris?
I literally don't know how you took the spot over here. Like, that's pretty crazy because one time I invited you over here to, like, come on my podcast, and, like, other people were running the network. So, like, how did you get here, and how did you take the spot?
Okay, that's a fair question. So I came here for the first time when you had me on your show. What was it, the third episode? And I'd never been here before. I never even considered doing a podcast. It wasn't even like a thought on my radar. But your podcast in particular inspired me to kind of have a new way of getting a message across, because I've been working in the music space for some time, and now I'm trying to figure out other ways to communicate what I want to communicate to the world, which, you know, sometimes is hard to even articulate in general. But putting this together was, you know, a labor of. I came to Marvin sometime after you had me on as a guest, and I discussed with him through Desi Marie, and through Moment, we all had a meeting, and we came and met with Marvin. And Marvin, you know, he gave me his rates for a podcast, and he said, when do you want to sign the line? And I was like, well, actually, like, I don't feel comfortable spending that money right now because I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know who I'm going to have on as a guest. I didn't have any of the forward thought to get that done in that moment. And it just pushed me back a little bit, you know. Mind you, I wasn't thinking about hosting multiple podcasts either. I was just thinking about one, you know, and I was like, oh, I'll have so much time in between to think about what I'm going to do and guests and all that, while also running a business and playing shows and getting bookings for artists, and like balancing a heavy plate. And Marvin reached out to me again, and he told me that he liked me and he saw something in me that he saw in himself when he was younger, and that he wanted my help to, you know, work and run this studio. And at first I was like, well, I don't know the first thing about your particular business, but I know how to run a business, and I know how to build brands, and I know how to put things together, and I know how to hire people, and I know how to fire people, and I know how to call shots. And I was like, sure, I'll help you. And I was like, but I want to be able to have my own podcast, right? And so we worked out a deal, and I now can have a podcast at the amazing Sunrise Podcast Network, hosted at the Sticky Paws Studios. And it's a great opportunity because, you know, it's an exchange of services. I get a lot of value from this space, and you know, I get to help Marvin keep this place going, and I'm stoked because I have wonderful help. I got Curtis over there, engineering, and he helps me out with a lot of projects. Desi as well.
Do you have the engineer cam yet? Can we pan over to Curtis, aka Wings. Oh, we gotta hook it up, but okay. So this is like an official podcast, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but like this is like the real deal. Like this is a podcast studio. This isn't in your mom's basement, folks. So Alex, you have now kind of probably expanded your demographic, but also you're keeping some of the Rage and Recover sort of EDM, nightlife festival people coming into the studio, which is like, are you ready to share kind of what you're announcing in the back here?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, wonderful. Let's do it.
Always down. Yeah. So here at this wonderful place, we have multiple studios. We have Studio A. It's like casual, laid back type of podcasting experience. We have Studio B. It's a little bit more business professional. We got the conference table. You can deck it out with your vibe, your experience that you want to curate. We throw up the logo. It looks fresh. And these two spaces for podcasting are really beautiful. But we also have Studio C, which is behind the building in a warehouse. And it is a very cool, very exclusive VIP invite only DJ live stream. And we want to keep it very exclusive. We want to keep the value up, and we want to keep it, for the people that are actually about it.
Nice,
and
brother.
So we're trying to keep the underground alive in a big sense, give them more intimate gatherings, but very limited space, but experience nonetheless.
Dude, and I want to talk to you even more about like the underground music scene continuing to blow up. Like, I know you and I previously have talked about a big sort of EDM promotion company that like blew up in town. I think that was after like 2015. Like they really, really blew up. And you've thrown events downtown at the Neonopolis. And you were the first person that I heard about this spot through. But now I hear about it like this spot's blowing up. And like, I just want to know how you find these spots prior to them like blowing up and being like the coolest spot in town.
That's a cool perspective. I don't know. I go where the path of least resistance is in my ventures, and when I find a good avenue that other people aren't like running a train on, for lack of a better phrase, I like that idea. I would rather do something in a place that, is very hush hush or like, I'm bringing the experience, I'm bringing what you're coming for. The venue itself is like, that's a variable that's interchangeable. No matter where it's at, it's going to be fucking dope. So if it's in the desert or in a venue downtown or in a warehouse or wherever in LA, it's like a major club, whatever. The experience will be an experience worth attending. But I just look for the opportunities, and I got lucky in that particular instance because I was networking. I was going out frequently. I was talking to everyone, and I was talking about nothing except for Rage and Recover and the artists that I was managing. That was it. I was like defining myself in that role, and I would have something to talk about no matter what. Because like sometimes when I'm in like a personal interaction, like I get quiet because I don't fucking really want to talk about myself. I don't like you got to know when to shut up about yourself and just be. But when you have something of value, like a business or a brand or an artist that you really believe in, it's your word is valuable to other people. So if you can talk about it and you believe in it and you can bring it to the table, you can sell it even, and then it becomes,
Hey, can I pause you there? If you can sell it, like you're talking about describing it, and that is key. But for the folks at home, if you can show it, if you can pull up your IG and say, hey, I throw these events, like, hey, look at our last one, and you can pull it up real quick, show me a 30-second video, and I look at it and I say it's dope, that's marketing right there. So not only did you sell yourself with words, you're now showing yourself with action proof and historical accuracy that you actually are this individual, you're doing this type of stuff in the world. And I just learned that piece of game recently, so I wanted to share that with everybody. Go to this one, Alex. And can I ask a question on this? Do you ever get family members, aka could be your haters, that are just like, what do you say when people say that's not music?
Fuck them.
Bro, I bet you hear that a fair share, no?
Yeah, I heard that today.
Yeah, that's not music.
I mean, like, realistically, who's anyone to tell anyone else what they're supposed to like or dislike? Like, it's just like, who fucking cares? Like, I don't tell you what I like the music you listen to. You know, I like the music you listen to. Cool. I don't tell you what the fuck. Oh, that's fucking bull. Like what you like. Don't like what you don't like. Cool. Like, if you can't decide it's not music. You know, it's like, it is music. It's just not what you would listen to. It's not your taste. It's okay.
What do you think about rave girls?
What, rave girls? What do you mean? Everyone loves rave girls. That's what. There's no conversation.
I like that one because I wanted to keep you on your toes. I felt like that was a pattern interruption. You know, you definitely didn't think that was what was coming out. But what else do you like about raves?
I like the sound. I like being moved by the sound, you know. Beyond, you know, all the pretty lights and the fireworks and the, you know, visual effects, like, music festivals are whatever you want them to be. They're like a playground.
Do you like festivals? Do you like bar clubs more? Like clubs?
Oh, I mean, if I could choose, I would go festival every time.
Why?
Freedom, it feels as if, you know, it's like
open air.
Yeah, open air. It's big. There's places to roam. You're not limited to stay in a confined space. You know, like, if I go to a bar and, you know, it's a 4-wall building and, you know, it's like 1,600 square feet of open space. It's like, there's not very much exploring or getting out you can do, which is cool. I mean, if you have a good sound system and a good artist, you don't need much else. But, like, for the experience, festival every time.
Okay, I got one final question for you. If I can get a time machine and we can go back to One Up in Reno, Nevada, are you down to go?
It depends on which night, but probably.
Okay, let's talk about Reno bars. Like, what was your overall opinion on the Reno bar nightlife scene? Did you ever go to Lex?
I did go to Lex a couple times. I
feel like I seen you there when I was working or something.
I went to Lex because some artists that I knew were performing there, and they were in town, and they came to my house, and they were like, "Let's go," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." So we went to Lex, and it was sick as fuck. They broke up though; they're not a duo no more, sadly. One Up
was definitely your favorite.
Well, not really my favorite, but it was cool. They had a lot of cool shows, and all my friends would go there, and I had a good time going to one.
What about Imperial RIP? We would have so much fun.
Well, okay, college was a completely different animal. Like, that was like like, I haven't drank alcohol in like almost 4 years now, so, like, thinking about that time, it feels like a different lifetime, you know? And, like, there's things that I don't even remember from that era of my life because I was like partying and fucking going to all these bars and like having a good time. Like, truthfully,
what's the pizza spot off Raleigh?
In Reno?
Yeah.
Pub and Sub. That's a fucking, oh my God.
How about
I used to fucking eat an entire large pizza and drink an entire pitcher of beer from that spot. I could do that.
what
I
about
could put that down.
the U?
The U.
What's the one that was by Night Hall, but I think they took it down like right before we came. It was Bricks, and then what was it before?
Waldorf, I think.
Nah, there was some spot where everyone would go.
Oh yeah, it was. I went there.
Everyone would go there, dude.
Oh God, I went there before we attended. You and I can't remember the name.
All right. Well, Alex, brother, man, thanks for having me. And I honestly, I didn't hate the mini pod, right? The mini pod was a perfect consumable amount of time where I can watch this in one sitting. I can learn about the owner of Rage and Recover and the CEO over here at Sunrise Podcast Networks. But thanks for joining me. Thanks for getting me on this momentum. And, I feel that there's going to be a lot of future potential and just so much exciting things coming for it. This network, my podcast, and just overall both of our lives. So really appreciate you stopping by here today or inviting me over to your neck of the woods. So with that, folks, we're going to wrap this episode of Elevation with Chris Oram, number 17 in the books. And this is our first returning guest, folks. You heard it here first.